Today I'm going to talk about what I ate today to achieve my fitness and weight loss goals. What you see on the screen here is a food tracking app or a virtual diary called MyFitnessPal. I've been using it for some time now to track my food, track my caloric expenditure. So the home screen is useless. I wish they got rid of it. Let's go to the important one, the food diary. So here on the food diary screen of MyFitnessPal, we can see right at the top, I have a goal calorie amount set. I have an amount that I consume from food, and I have some exercise as well. And we can see that when we subtract the exercise from the food and then subtract that from the goal, we have a deficit of 511 calories. So this means that if these numbers are actually accurate, then I should lose 1/7 of a pound today, because 7 days in a week, 500 calories a day, that's 3,500, which is the amount of calories it takes to burn a pound of fat. Now, in reality, my total daily energy expenditure is not 1,790, it's actually about 1,850. So in reality, there's an extra 60 calories or so of deficit on top, which comes out to about another 420 calories of deficit per week, which would be, I guess, a little more than a pound in 2 months on top of the pound this week that I'm factoring in, but that's fine. I like to have my goal set a little below my TDEE, which again is the total daily energy expenditure. So I said, assuming these numbers are correct. Well, the food intake number is probably correct. The U.S. government says that food labeling companies, food sellers, manufacturers of food products, they can have an error rate of plus or minus, I think, 15 or 20%. So in reality, even if I tracked all of the calories from all the foods that I ate perfectly, anything that I'm reading the calories from a label, it could be 20% under or below or above. If it's something raw like tomatoes or mushroom or lettuce that we can see on the screen, then chances are it's accurate because that's not being sold by a company. But for something like the Fairlife milk or the Zoe Greek yogurt or the Reese's Puff cereal, that could be inaccurate, but let's assume they're not. Let's assume they're spot on. And as far as the exercise goes, well, that one also could be inaccurate. People have found that with wearables like the Apple Watch and the Fitbit, that the calorie estimates can be off by over 100%. They might say that you burned 1,000 calories, but you really only burned 500. So my Apple Watch, I did a change today. I went for a walk and I changed it from using the Strava app's calorie estimation to using the Apple Watch's calorie estimation. And my Strava app has been estimating that I've been burning a little over 800 calories for this 6-mile, hour 40 walk. Today, with the Apple Watch estimate, which has my heart rate included, the Strava app does not include the heart rate, it estimated that that same walk only burned 500 calories. So we can see a really big variance between apps. The Apple Watch says I burned 500, Strava says I burned over 800. I'm going to go with the more pessimistic estimate of 500. That sounds more accurate. So I walked 6 miles for an hour 40. Apple Watch thinks I burned 500 calories. Seems fair. I've also taken my historical data, exported it in a file, and done some spreadsheet math, and I think that overall, all of the estimates are within 20% accuracy. Now that I'm using the Apple Watch to estimate stuff, and it's more pessimistic than Strava, I think this 500 from exercise is going to be even more accurate than things were before. Okay, so moving on, let's get to the core of the video. Let's get to the food, the tracking, MyFitnessPal, what's on the screen, right? So as I scroll, we can see that, I've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, multiple snacks. Okay, but this isn't really helpful. But lucky for you, I actually took pictures of every meal that I ate today. And so if I go over to the meals tab, then we can see that here they are. Here are meals. So the top 5 are the ones that I ate today. So I started the day with a salad. I titled it Salad and Smoothie. And if I actually expand this, we can see that, yep, there it is. It's a salad and a big smoothie. So what went into this salad and this smoothie? Well, the salad was pretty basic. Tomatoes, mushrooms, lettuce, cabbage. The smoothie was a cup of milk, nearly a pound of strawberries, a little bit of Greek yogurt, and some ice cubes to add volume. And that filled up at least 2 shaker bottles full of smoothie. and an entire mixing bowl full of salad. This whole combo, not including the drinks, but just the smoothie and the salad, was 4.69 pounds of food. So 4.7 pounds of food, or a little over 2,100 grams of food. So it took me 20 minutes to 30 minutes to eat all this, which I was happily munching while watching various YouTube videos, learning about whatever it is that I decided to learn about today. I like to learn new things every day. And the important thing here, though, is that it was 4.7 pounds of food, and it was only 445 calories, and it had 30 grams of protein. Now, why is this important? So if we go to, and if you want to track your calories to cut and lose weight or gain muscle or just get a better handle of your nutrition, this is the important part. So I have a goal. It's a little under 1,800 calories per day. If I wanted to eat 3 meals, I could have 3 600-calorie meals, and that would come out to about 1,800, which is about my goal, right? So 3 600-calorie meals. But if we look at my meal log, we'll see that the meals that I ate today were, let's see, the salad was 440, then I had some peanut butter topped Reese's Pieces, Puffs, whatever, cupcakes at 450, and some strawberry cupcakes later at 470, and then I had a really small, it was large, but the calorie amount was small, salad, and I finished the day with a dessert, which was a bowl of fruit with chocolate yogurt. I just love that. So I had 5 meals today, and then none of them were 600 calories. If they were 600 calories each, then I would have had 3,000 calories, and that would have put me at a surplus of 1,200, which 700 minus the exercise, that I don't want. I don't want a surplus. I want to stay within my goal, because if we go look at my progress tab, we can see that I've been kind of plateauing for the last month. Let's change this to month view. Yeah, we can see that I've been staying the same. I got down to 138, which is my lowest ever, and at one point I went back up to 145. So I've been kind of all over the place, but we can actually see the change for the last month in the upper right hand corner is exactly 0 pounds. If we go back maybe 3 months, we can see slight drop. If we go back 6 months, which is about the start of things, then 32 pounds, and really I started the journey at 176, which is not recorded, but that spike between February and March, I hit 176. So in reality, it's more like lost 35 pounds this year. But anyway, so with a goal of 1,800, how do I manage to happily eat stuff all day while sticking to that calorie goal? Because let me tell you, it is very, very, very easy to exceed 1,800 calories in a full day of eating. So for starters, I do this thing called intermittent fasting, which does not solve all problems. It's not a silver bullet, but it only takes a tiny amount of willpower from my part, and it really helps make the rest of the day easier. So I don't start eating until 12. Basically, no matter what. I do drink a lot of water. I try to drink a lot of water before maybe 5 p.m. So I drink a lot of water and tea and coffee in the morning before 12 to keep me busy, something to sip on. But by not eating until 12, that gives me until, it gives me the rest of the day to eat. And so now I have this budget of about 1,800 calories, but I only have to fit it into like 8 to 10 hours, because if we scroll down, we can see the last time I ate today was at about 10 o'clock, and I started eating at 12. I guess I ate a little later today at 2, but usually I start right at like 12:30. So I get this 10-hour eating window that I get to fit these 1,800 calories into, and so that makes it a little easier. If I start eating at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m., then that's another 3 or 4 hours, because once I start eating, I'm going to want to keep eating basically constantly. I probably have a problem. I think most people are like this. Don't really want to go long between meals. Like, I kind of just want to keep eating and eating and eating. And so by using a little bit of willpower and waiting until 12, I can basically eat every hour and a half or 2 hours or so until I decide to go to sleep. And as long as I keep the calorie amounts per meal low, then I'll still actually hit my calorie goal and end the day at my goal or at a deficit and still lose weight. So let's go back to the meal tab here, and we can see again that going down to the 5th item from the top, which is where I started the day. So I had a salad. So that salad was huge. And with the smoothie, it was actually 31 grams of protein. So why is 31 grams of protein important? Well, there's a lot of studies and a lot of research on muscle building and protein synthesis. And basically, if you want to do the Spartan diet or 23-1 intermittent fasting, where you fast for 23 hours and then only eat for 1 hour, or the OMAD diet, where you eat one meal a day, it's an acronym, OMAD, one meal a day. So if you want to do that and get all your protein in one meal, that's actually fine. And you're really not missing out on much at all. There's been some studies with rats and mice where they tweak how like the protein is introduced to their diet throughout the day, and they found that when they had the rats and the mice go on OMAD versus introducing the protein in multiple meals throughout the day, they found that the OMAD rats had about 8% less muscle. Now this study doesn't necessarily transfer to humans, because for the rats and mice, they did it, I think, over the course of 8 weeks, which comes out to, or 6 weeks, I can't remember. It comes out to like an eighth of the rat's lifespan, or mice, again, I can't remember, which is huge. That'd be like a human doing a diet for a decade. So we don't really know if, because of the lifespan of the rats and mice versus the lifespan of humans, that these results would transfer. But assuming that they do transfer, then you're really only losing out on 8% performance by having just one meal in the whole day and then not eating for the rest of the day, which is a dieting or fasting style, I should say, that I've actually experimented with. And sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. So I kind of like to flip-flop between eating styles, do whatever feels good, or whatever I'm in the mood for. And lately I've been in the mood for 12-8. No, that's not right. I guess 14-10. Yeah, 14 hours of fasting, and then I start eating at 12, and I usually stop eating at 10. So 10-hour eating window, 14-hour fasting window. It's definitely not the most optimal intermittent fasting protocol. It'd be better if I did 16-8, but I just can't really help it. I keep eating until like 10 o'clock at night. Really, I just keep eating until I go to sleep. So 14-10. But if I'm not going to be doing one meal a day, if I'm not going to be doing intermittent fasting, and I am going to be spreading out my meals throughout the day, because that's more pleasurable to me. I like to be able to eat every few hours. It's just nicer. I prefer that. Then I want to spread my protein intake out. And so rather than getting all of the protein that I need for the day in the beginning of the day or the end of the day or the middle of the day, I want to kind of spread it out evenly throughout the day, because this has been shown to have a statistically significant effect on muscle protein synthesis. Now, I'm not even close to a bodybuilder. I barely go to the gym, so this really doesn't matter. But why not do things a little more optimally if it doesn't hurt, right? So I try to get about 30 grams of protein per meal, and this actually works out pretty well, because when I try to get 30 grams of protein per meal, I usually end up with small meals between 300 and 500 calories, and then I can have 3 to 5 of those meals throughout the day and just kind of eat how I want. So it just works out kind of nicely. So we can see that with the salad and smoothie meal, I got 31 grams of protein. With the peanut butter chocolate cupcake meal, I got 32.6 grams of protein. I had another strawberry, cupcake platter, and got about 30 grams of protein. And then I was really feeling hungry, so I just had a salad, and this one didn't have 30 grams of protein, and I actually didn't add anything that should have protein to this. It's just got mushrooms and lettuce, but all that lettuce and cabbage, looks like I input the cabbage incorrectly. That lettuce there should actually be cabbage. Let's fix that real quick. You can, it should be 269 grams of cabbage. So let's see, add food. Cabbage, 200 and, oh geez. I think this might actually put me over. Oops. Little mistakes. Yeah, okay, so it looks like 269 grams of lettuce is 40 calories, but 269 grams of cabbage is 67 calories, so I actually missed 27 calories there. That's okay. I'll live. And then we go over to, which meal was that? Let's see, meals, recipes, meals. Simple salad. Did I put a time? No, I didn't put a time. But it has garlic, so that was, I know that was the second salad I had today because I didn't put garlic on my first salad. So there it is, lettuce, 269 grams. So we can see, hey, you know what? That was not correct. Let's go add food at 8:25 p.m. Cabbage, 269 at, what was it, 8:05? I cannot remember. Yes. No, it was 8:25, whatever. And then we get rid of this lettuce. How do we get rid of it? There we go. Get rid of the lettuce. Okay, cool. And look at that. You know what? Looks like instead of 1780, I had 1809 calories today. So there's the other, the 19 calories. Woe is me. But, you know, that's fine. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So just wanted to spot that little mistake I made. Meals. Right, okay. So about 30 grams of protein per meal, except for this salad that I had as my second to last meal. I was just kind of like hungry. I just wanted to eat something, wanted to crunch on something while I watched TV. And we can see that that was 170 calories, but it also had 13 grams of protein without adding anything, any protein, high protein content food in, which is pretty cool. I think sometimes we forget how much protein is in the stuff that we don't think of when we think of high protein foods. But these mushrooms, the cabbage and the lettuce probably had at least 5 grams of protein. The mushroom had 5 to 7 grams of protein. We can actually see, I think, if we click this. No? Okay, well, in the diary view, it'll show you how many, the macronutrient breakdown for each food item. Anyway, yeah, so today's a nice mix of eating between high volume foods like the cabbage, the salads, and the smoothies, and really delicious, tasty dessert foods like, oh man, these peanut butter, these peanut butter chocolate cupcakes, they are delicious. So I basically take one of my homemade cupcakes, which I have a video on. I made a video about that. You can go through my channel. And I cut it into four slices. So the cupcake's 130 calories for the recipe that I used in the video. So cutting this into 4 slices gives me, I guess, I don't know, 32 calories a slice. And then I top it with peanut butter, and I don't know if you can see it, but I actually mixed a bit of Reese's Puffs into the peanut butter to add volume. And we can see here that this small plate of 4 topped cupcakes comes out to 457 calories. And we can see that the salad that I started the day with has 445 calories. And that salad was 4.7 pounds of food and took me half an hour to eat, and it had 31 grams of protein. And these peanut butter chocolate cupcakes, I had to struggle not to wolf it down in 5 minutes, and it had about the same amount of calories and about the same amount of protein. So I hope you can see here that depending on what kind of meals you eat can really affect how long you're eating, how long you can go until you need to eat again, how satiated you're gonna feel, how you can really have nutrition or not nutrition. These peanut butter chocolate cupcakes that I made, I mean, they're nutritious, sure, but they're not as nutritious as a salad. What do we got? Like 700 milligrams of potassium, 20% of my iron value. Okay. 31%, 35% of my calcium. All right, let's look at the salad and the smoothie, which was less calories, but like nearly 5 pounds of food. It took me half an hour to eat instead of 5 minutes. We can see, oh wow, it's like almost 3 times the amount of calcium I'm supposed to eat in a day. It's almost all of the potassium that I need for an entire day, and I struggle to get my potassium requirement sometimes. It's got all these vitamins in here. Little iron, but just about everything I eat has little iron. Need to figure that out. So we can really see that while the calories of these meals are the same, the volume, like the size and the weight of the meals, is vastly different. And so if you're struggling to stay within your goals, then consider playing around with the meals you eat and swapping them out for salads. So normally I only have 1 salad a day. I like to start my day with a salad, and that way I know I'm kind of starting the day off right. And then for the rest of the day, I just kind of eat sweet junk, like the PB peanut butter cupcakes here, the strawberry cupcake platter, the chocolate nectarine bowl. If we go look through my eating history, we can see there's a lot of really sweet stuff. You know, like, okay, I've got some open-faced butter chicken topped, bacon topped, salty French toast. That's not really, I wouldn't call it sweet food. I had French toast and bacon, I guess, another day. You know, gigantic breakfast. That's I don't know if that's sweet or not. It's got chocolate yogurt sauce with bananas and the side of almond blueberry coffee cake breads, but it's also got bacon and eggs. So yeah, I don't know, hybrid. But you know, I really like to eat sweet stuff. Here's a little cake I made. Here's another thing I made. I just called it Fruit Pile. It's like half the protein I need a day, 50 grams of protein nearly. Here I am posing with some more cakes. So, you know, you can see that I really like to eat sweet stuff. But I've also been struggling with my calorie goals. If we go ahead and look at my my calories in the week view, we can see, oh, hey, and we go to total. So if we go to total view, we can see, wow, my goal was below the 1800 line. And it looks like I only stayed within that 1800 line today on Monday, which we know from looking earlier, I actually exceeded it by 29 calories, no, 19 calories, so I didn't actually meet my calorie goal any day this week. I exceeded it every day. I basically had a cheat day on Friday and probably Sunday as well, and got up to nearly 3,000 calories on those days. Like, that's not good. Now, if we factor in net, then we can see, okay, it's actually fine. And my weekly under is nearly 500. But that actually sucks because I want to lose a pound of fat per week. That net calories under weekly goal should be 3,500, not 467. So we can see from this graph here that I really screwed up. I could have done way better this week, but I really had dropped the ball. And so I'm not really going to lose any weight this week. You know, 1/7 of a pound, that's nothing for weight loss. That's, you know, why go to all this trouble if you're not making any progress, right? So I've already committed myself to making some changes. This weight loss process is a very continual process. We can see, okay, the week before, I was net over, even with net. Yeah, we can see for the last 3 weeks, I've been doing pretty badly. I guess the fourth week ago, 2,000 under, which is good. Fifth week ago, nearly 4,000 under, nearly 5,000 under. So we can see, I guess something must have happened 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I must have really dropped the ball with the progress. Actually, I recall what happened. I decided I was going to focus more on my athletic performance and just trying to maintain. And so actually from that perspective, I haven't dropped the ball at all, and I've done exactly what I committed myself to do, which is stop trying to lose weight and just maintain my current weight and focus more on athletic performance. So that's actually super cool. I forgot about that until just now. And I actually have done really well there. I'm not going to bring up my sports tracking app, but I've been killing it. My max run distance used to be 6 miles. This week I ran 8 miles and then 10 miles and then 11 miles. So I've run 29 miles this week, and I've nearly doubled my run max. So that's awesome. So there are trade-offs for sure. Cutting is great, losing weight is great, but if you go to maintain your weight, there's other advantages, mainly the athletic performance ones. Okay, so going back to the meals. Let's focus a little more on the meals themselves. So 2 salads, 2 plates with cupcakes topped with delicious stuff, and a fruit bowl at the end for dessert. I like to start every day with a salad, but I had a second salad because I just really wanted to eat something, but I didn't want to go past my calorie goal. And that was a great idea. I'm going to do that more in the future. I think I'm going to start having 2 salads a day. And I used to think that salads were complicated and a pain, but they're actually not that difficult. So we can see here in this salad that I had cabbage, lettuce, tomatoes, and mushrooms. Well, you can buy a pack of mushrooms that will make you at least 4 salads for a few dollars, and they'll keep in your fridge for a week maybe. So that's not very hard to do. You can go grocery shopping once a week. I diced up a tomato to put in the salad, and what do you know? You can buy a vine of tomatoes, and those will also keep on your counter for about a week. The 2 cabbages that I added to this, the red cabbage and the green cabbage, just bought 2 heads of cabbage. Each one was a few dollars, and those will keep in your fridge for multiple weeks. Cabbages keep forever practically, at least for a fresh vegetable. And the head of lettuce, I don't usually use heads of lettuce because they tend to go bad pretty quick, but it was less than $3 for a big head of lettuce, and I still have, I used 2/3 of it today across 2 salads, so I still have a third left. So that comes out to less than $1 per salad for the lettuce. And each of these salads probably cost me, I don't know, $2 to $3 to make the salad. So really cheap for a meal and really nutritious. Everyone says that you need to eat more vegetables, that vegetables are really good for you. And by just keeping tomatoes, mushrooms, cabbage, and lettuce stocked with some vinegar, salt, and pepper, you can make a really quick, really convenient, really healthy, and filling salad for dirt cheap. And when you run out of ingredients, you just go to the store and buy some more. It couldn't be easier. For the cupcakes, I really wish I could just eat these all day. They taste too freaking good. Like, I probably need to stop making these so often because they're kind of like a drug or something, and it just makes me want to eat more. For this, I mixed full-fat yogurt. It's the Zoe Greek yogurt. It's basically, I looked through all the yogurts at my store, and I found the yogurt with the highest amount of fat content. And what do you know? No one's buying it, so they actually have it 2 for $7, which is like half the price of all the other Greek yogurts. So no one else wants it because it's so high in fat. But with the dietary knowledge that I've gained, I've actually found that, hey, it's not really that big of a deal if the yogurt has a lot of fat in it. Because I can always just add in higher protein powders and foods to kind of balance it out and still hit the macronutrient goals for a meal that I want. So, yeah, it does mean that whatever I use the high-fat yogurt with, it's probably going to be a slightly higher calorie meal, but it's also going to taste way better. So it's not all downsides when it comes to high-fat yogurt, which this Zoe yogurt is super high-fat. It's 170 calories, and I think it has like 15 grams. No, I can't remember. It's got a lot of fat. I can't remember how much fat it has, but it's got a lot. But I balanced it out by adding in a bunch of peanut butter powder, 40 grams of peanut butter powder, which gave me the other protein that I needed. And so I don't know if you could tell from looking at this picture, but that's not peanut butter. That's Greek yogurt mixed with a ton of peanut butter powder, 2.5 servings to be specific, 40 grams of peanut butter powder, or 5 tablespoons of peanut butter powder. And I mixed in some Reese's Puff cereal, which basically just gives a nice little crunch with every bite. And they take up a lot of volume because they're full of air. So just really delicious meal. But not filling at all. So definitely don't eat this without something else like a salad. And my plan is to swap out the full-fat, high-fat Zoe yogurt for non-fat Faye, which is going to be about half the calories. And that's going to basically let me have these cupcakes and an extra salad for about the same amount of calories. And that will let me eat even more food in the day for the same amount of calories. Here we can see I did another cupcake platter. This time, instead of topping it with peanut butter, I just mixed in some chocolate protein powder. I wrote vanilla here because I can't find chocolate in the diet tracker, but it's the same macronutrient breakdown, so it doesn't matter for tracking purposes. Anyway, I mixed in some chocolate protein powder and a little bit of cacao powder. It's actually not Hershey's, it's some other brand, but it also has the same macronutrient and calorie breakdown as Hershey's, so for tracking purposes, it does not matter. And that gives it a much darker look, which is nicer for photos, and it also gives it a nice, more chocolatey flavor. So again, this is actually Greek yogurt mixed with chocolate powder, and so you get this nice chocolate sauce. And then I diced up about half a serving of strawberries, because they say a serving of strawberries is about 150 grams, which is about 50 calories of strawberries. And so this is about half of that in strawberries. And I took all but one strawberry and I diced it up finely and added it to the chocolate sauce to give it more volume, just like how I added the Reese's Puff cereal to the peanut butter to give it more volume, like literally make it bigger. I added some cut of strawberries to this chocolate sauce to give it more volume, but I took one strawberry and diced it up to give these things some flair. And honestly, you should just chop the strawberry up and put it in the chocolate filling, because when I was biting down on these, they were so thin that the strawberry kind of wanted to come all in one piece, and it made a little bit of a mess, but sure looks pretty. And these were delicious as well. But I think between the two, I would say that while the peanut butter one is definitely the most delicious, the strawberry cupcake platter is the winner here, because I used 2 cupcakes, and so I had basically twice as many mouthfuls to bite through. And if we look at the macronutrient and calorie breakdown, it's about the same. They're both a little over 30 grams of protein. They're both in the like 450 range of calories. But this one only uses 1 cupcake cut into 4 pieces, whereas this one gives 2 cupcakes cut into 8 pieces. So you be the judge. I definitely prefer the peanut butter though. This peanut butter is just, whew, man, peanut butter is so delicious. Oh my gosh. And then yeah, at the end of the day, fill a bowl full of yogurt mixed with protein powder to get some cheap protein in there. And then I had a nectarine, so I diced up a nectarine and mixed that into the Greek yogurt to give it some, texture. I find that when it comes to food, you really have to have multiple textures. It's no good to just be spooning yogurt into your mouth, even if you have the most delicious flavors mixed in. It looks like I somehow didn't capture it in this recording here, but there's also 10 drops of mint extract in this, and so it was a nice minty chocolate flavor. It wasn't just chocolate, it was mint chocolate, so I really love mint. And I find that mint goes really good with neutral tasting fruits like nectarines and peaches. Really like mint with those types of fruits. So chocolate, and then a neutral tasting fruit like nectarine and peach, and then add some mint in, and that's delicious. Whereas for strawberries, I wouldn't mix in mint for strawberries. I think for this one I added orange extract. Yeah, and the orange extract is delicious with the chocolate. I love adding orange extract with chocolate. I don't do it all the time. I do it like a third of the time, but it really gives the cupcake so much more flavor with some orange extract in there. And extract doesn't take any calories. You can keep a bunch of extracts in your cupboard. They probably keep forever. They're a few dollars at the store. You can build up yourself a small arsenal of extracts to play with. And it's just a fun way to change things up and keep things interesting. Some days I'll do orange extract, other days I do mint extract. I've got almond extract, lemon extract. I just bought rum extract and maple extract. I like to put them in a coffee and other things as well. So it's a way to keep things from getting boring, because when you are trying to really get a handle on your nutrition and watch what you eat every day, you have to have some go-tos. And so if you scroll through my food history here, we can see that quite a lot of the things that I'm eating revolve around Greek yogurt. Here we can see another cupcake recipe. This was back before I found out that putting in more peanut butter powder was a total win. So the yogurt looks a lot less like peanut butter and a lot more like yogurt, but absolutely delicious, still delicious. But anyway, we can see, a lot of what I eat tends to be yogurt and fruit. And so that's the last thing I wanted to cover in this video, is essentially, whoa, what's going on? Go back, get out of here. I wanted to talk about some like the basic pantry and refrigerator, like food items that I keep, and how they help me reach my goals. So if we go here, let's see, we go to macros, and then we should, so because I have premium, we can see this breakdown here. So we can see, foods highest in net carbs, and let's change this to day view, and then we'll look at week view. So today I had two cupcake meals, 2 salads, and a bowl of fruit, and I had a lot of yogurt today. So we can see that yogurt takes the cake when it comes to, or takes the prize when it comes to fat, I suppose. And those cupcakes, the Reese's cupcakes, they're actually made with yogurt, so yogurt's probably in there as well. And then we've got our peanut butter powder, and then actually yogurt. What is that? Plain full fat? What is this? Plain full fat. What is plain full fat? I'm gonna guess that's yogurt. Okay, foods highest in protein. We've got, vanilla protein powder. It's actually not vanilla. It's chocolate protein powder that I've been using. I also have like a cafe latte powder, protein powder. The nice thing about the Premier protein powder is that it's 150 calories per 30 grams of protein. That breaks down to 5 calories for 1 gram of protein. If you're trying to get protein for the cheapest calorie budget possible, the best you can do is 5 calories for 1 gram of protein. You're going to get that with Greek yogurt. You're going to get that. So you're going to get that with Faya non-fat Greek yogurt. You're going to get that with egg whites, and you're going to get that. With certain brands of protein powders. So that's the gold standard, 5 calories for 1 gram of protein. And so here we can see that protein powder takes the cake because it's the best you can possibly do. But after that, we've got our Reese's Cupcakes, which have yogurt in them. PB Fit powder, which is, I think it's 30 calories for 4 grams of protein, so not that great. Plain full fat, it's high fat yogurt. What do you expect? I guess this is totaling it up. So it looks like I get a lot of protein from powders and yogurts. Let's go to week view. Okay, so carbs, not really interested in those. I made some homemade bread, and bread is obviously high in carbs. We can see cabbage is pretty high in carbs, I guess. And I've been eating a lot of cereal this week, so there's that. For fat, yep, high fat, full fat yogurt. Of course, it's going to have a lot of fat. What else? Foods highest in protein. Fairlife 2% milk. So it looks like this week I got 136 grams of protein just from drinking milk. So if you go look at the nutrition facts for milk at the grocery store, you probably won't get too excited. But if you look at the Fairlife brand, the 2% reduced fat Fairlife milk, the one that comes in the blue bottle, that stuff I think is 120 calories for a cup of milk, which is 240 milliliters of milk. And it has 13 grams of protein for 120 calories. So you're actually getting more than a gram per protein per 10 calories, which, 5 calories per gram of protein is the best you can possibly get. But if you're sticking to about 10 calories per gram of protein, you'll hit your protein goals within your calorie budget by the end of the day. And so Fairlife is a really good source because it's a little better than a gram of protein per 10 calories. And then after that, we can see it looks like I'm eating peanut butter powder like a madman this week. I got 97 grams of protein from peanut butter powder this week. It's 16 grams of peanut butter for 8 grams of protein. And so 8 into 97 is 10, 12. So that's 12 servings. So then that's 16 grams a serving. So 12 times 16 is 160. Plus 32, so 100. So it looks like I ate 192 grams of peanut butter powder this week, which is a little less than half a pound. So I've eaten like half a pound of peanut butter powder this week. That's a lot of peanut butter powder. I'm going through these peanut butter powder jars pretty quickly. But what can I say? Peanut butter powder mixed into yogurt, delicious. Oh my gosh, I want to eat it every day. It's so good. So it's no wonder that I'm getting a lot of my protein from peanut butter powder. And then, wow, actually cabbage. I guess a salad a day really does give you muscles, huh? So I've been having 1 salad a day, except for today, in which case I had 2 salads. And we can see that for, I guess, the 8 salads that I've had in the last 7 days, that I got 63 grams of protein. So, if anyone ever tells you that lettuce and cabbage and leafy greens is not going to make you build muscles, they're wrong. There's a lot of protein in cabbage. You just have to eat like a pound a day. Of course, if you're like me and you just want to eat all the time and you just can't stop eating, then you'll be happy to be given a 1 pound plus salad to eat. I think I had a 1.5 pound salad earlier this week. All it was I cut off a little more cabbage than usual because I wasn't paying attention. And so instead of coming out to around 450 grams, which is a pound, it came out to more like 600 grams. So 1.25 pounds or 1.5 pounds or so. All right, let's see the breakdown for protein. Oh yeah, we've got it all. Not too interesting here. So yeah, we can see. Okay, I had milk 15 times this week. I had peanut butter powder 7 times this week. Looks like I had yogurt 15 times a week, which really makes sense because I've been eating yogurt like crazy. And I guess I ate cabbage and a lot more than just 7 times this week. Don't know why that's showing up as times 11. But this should give you an idea of foods that you can buy to hit your macronutrient goals while still sticking to a calorie budget to lose weight and also give yourself athletic performance, because yes, those are all of my goals. I eat all this food while trying to stick to a caloric deficit, or maintaining and being at my maintenance calories while running or working out every day, if not, then hiking, but doing something every day, and making sure that I get enough protein to either maintain my muscle mass so I don't lose any muscle mass or gain muscle mass. Um, so again, we can see from the macros from today that I got 129 grams of protein. So I actually am fine as long as I get about 100 grams of protein a day, because as a general rule of thumb, you really only need about 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. It really depends on a lot of factors. Like if you're overweight, you don't need as much. If you're really overweight, you don't need 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body fat. You can get by with less. If you're really, really lean, you need more like an actual gram per pound of body fat. I'm at 16% body fat, so I can still get by with less than a gram per pound of body fat. If it was a day that I worked out or ran really hard, I would try to get about a gram per pound of body fat. But today, all I did is I went for a walk. I did work out really hard yesterday, so I did get more protein than normal today, but I probably would have been fine just getting 100, 110, 112. And 80% of my body weight, which is about 140 pounds, is around 112, I think. That math is probably wrong. It's more like 120, I'm guessing. And so you really don't need as much protein as you might think. There's a lot of people think you just need all the protein in the world to build muscle, but yeah, it's not true. You really don't need that much. And so by eating milk, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, salads, Reese's Puffs for lunch, dinner, and breakfast, I'm able to get like all the protein I need and all the fat and carbs and flavor and taste, everything. It's super easy. And you might have noticed, but I haven't had any meat today. No meat today, and I don't think I had any meat yesterday either. And if you look at my food throughout the week, most of it is vegetarian. Let's see, go back to meals. Let's see. Let's just going from the top down. No meat today. Yesterday, no. I had no meat yesterday. Which yesterday was just the Dairy Bowl and the Reese's French Toast. Man, that Reese's French Toast was amazing. Oh, that one had egg, but I wouldn't call that meat. It's not the flesh of an animal, right? I had some leftovers. That's got butter chicken, so I had meat that day. But let's see, no meat, no meat, no meat. Whichever day this was, I had bacon, so meat. I think 2 slices of bacon is not very much meat, by the way. There's not very much protein in 2 slices of bacon, like 9 or 10, maybe 18 grams. But if we go back, most of my eating, yeah, we can see I've got some more bacon here, eggs, which don't really count, at least according to me. See, if we go back about a week, I had one of my stromboli leftovers, and the stromboli had shredded chicken, so chicken in there. But it looks like if I go back a week, I only had meat 3. See, if you don't count the bacon, I only had meat twice, like this last week. And if you do count bacon, then I had meat 4 times this last week. That's 4 meals, and each day has 2 to 5 meals. So if we just say that each day is 3 meals, that's 21 meals in a week, and I had protein, like meat in 4 of them. So what is that, 20%? So 80% of my meals and more than half of my days are vegetarian. Now, I'm not trying to be vegetarian. It's not like I want to be vegetarian. I don't really think that's not a goal of mine. But it's just really convenient to get my protein goals without meat. I keep multiple tubs of Greek yogurt in my fridge. I keep a tub of cottage cheese. I have a container of milk always ready to go. I've got the salad ingredients. I have fresh fruit on my counter. I've got protein powders, peanut butter powder in my cupboard. I've got my extracts and flavorings in my spice cabinet. And sometimes I like to bake, so I have flour and my machinery, like my mixer and my bread maker and all that. And You know, I do have a little bit of meat. I've got some meat in my freezer, and I've got a thing of bacon that I like to keep ready to go for if I'm in a bacon mood or I want, you know, really salty bacon. But for the most part, yeah, like I just don't eat a lot of meat, and I like meat. Meat tastes good. You know, meat's delicious, but I just don't want to deal with it. You know, you gotta until you cook it, it's a hazard because of bacteria, and it can go bad. You gotta eat it by a certain time. If you freeze it, you gotta wait for it to thaw, which can take half a day to a whole day. And if you want it to taste good, you better marinate it, which I've been getting into. You know, marinating my meat. I did the southern fried chicken with the buttermilk marinade. I did the Indian butter chicken with a yogurt, like an acidic yogurt marinade. It's just a lot of work, you know. You got to manage the meat. You got to wash your hands a lot, make sure everything's clean because you could get salmonella or who knows what else from raw meat. You got to marinate it so it tastes good, which is going to take, you know, anywhere from like a few hours to a day. And then when you cook it, I mean, you got to be a little careful when you're handling meat. You can't let meat sit in the fridge for too long. Once it goes bad, it's going to be pretty gnarly. You can get really sick from meat that's gone bad. And then overall, most meats just aren't going to have the same volume of food per calorie, and they're not going to deliver the efficiency for protein goals that the other foods that I've been talking about this whole video will have. The yogurts, if you get the non-fat Faye, you can get the perfect amount, which is 5 calories per gram of protein. You're not going to get that with chicken. With lean chicken, you can get close. You can get close. I think you can get 6 calories per gram of protein with lean chicken, which is really good for sure. But it's going to be a lot more expensive than yogurt, and you can't just keep it in a fridge. And most importantly, when you're trying to make your meals hit 30 grams of protein per meal, or you're trying to get, you say, oh, I only have 200 calories left for the day. I want to make a little meal that's going to fit in the calorie budget, which this meal was that. I said, oh, I've only got a little less than 300 calories. What can I do? I know. I'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, do a bowl, bam. I'm still within my calorie budget, and I get a nice little snack to end the day with. Well, it's kind of hard to take meat and portion it out. I mean, yeah, you can take a slice of cooked meat and chop it up until you get the right weight, you know, but it's a little bit of a bother. It's a lot easier just to put a spoon into a bowl of cottage cheese or a bowl of yogurt, or calculate the amount of milk that you need and then pour out the appropriate amount. It's so much easier to measure out these various dairy products than it is to deal with meat to get your protein goals. And so I just find that when it comes to getting my protein goals, dairy is just the most convenient by a mile. It's super cheap. Super cheap. You can buy it at any store. There's a lot of options. You can get high fat, normal amount of fat, no fat. There's all these milk options. You can get chocolate milk too if you want. They're all packed with protein. They're all going to give you at least a gram of protein per 10 calories. Some of them are a lot closer to a gram of protein per 5 calories, so they're super optimal. Nice thing about a lot of these dairy products is that you can mix various powders into them and flavor them. I have vanilla protein powder, chocolate protein powder, coffee flavored like cafe protein powder, which tastes great with bananas. You can mix these things into smoothies and ice and make a big smoothie. It'll fill 3 or 4 blender bottles if you want. Good luck making a meat smoothie. That sounds disgusting. You can bake yogurt. Where is it? This cupcake here is actually baked yogurt. I have a YouTube video where I literally take yogurt and bake it. This cake, that's a yogurt cake. I baked yogurt in a 4-inch pie tin. Here's another one. It's a baked yogurt cake. So, you know, you can drink yogurt, you can mix it with stuff and eat it with a spoon. You can bake yogurt, you can use it as a topping. Here we can see with the French toast, that chocolate sauce between the French toast and on top, that's yogurt mixed with chocolate, probably just cocoa powder, but it's so versatile and it's so cheap and it's so good for you and it has protein and you can measure it out exactly how you need to get exactly how much protein for, you know, whatever your goals are for the meal. I mean, really, if you're not eating yogurt and you care about macronutrients or calories, then you're screwing up. You're really screwing up. Got to get on that yogurt game. All right, cool. So yeah, the point of this video was I just kind of wanted to go over like what a day of eating looks like in my food diary, go over some of the common things that I eat and some of my eating strategies, and some of the different food items that I keep stocked and are kind of like go-to staples for my eating habits and my diets. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching.